Hello, and warm welcome to our webinar, The World Happiest Data Lives in Finland, and a special hello for those watching this later on demand as well. Let's start with a few house rules first. Participants' cameras and microphones are turned off during the session, but you are very welcome to submit questions via the chat at any time. We will bring up some of them during the Q&A at the end. My name is Riku Helander. I'm heading the telecom business line here at Digita. We are a nationwide provider of digital infrastructure services. Today we will explore why more and more global players are choosing Finland as the home for their critical data infrastructure. It's my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Jouni Salonen, Senior Advisor at Business Finland. Jouni will now share his insights why Finland is becoming a leading location for future-proof data infrastructure. Well, welcome, Jouni. The floor is yours.
Thank you, and welcome to the webinar on my behalf as well. I'm Jouni Salonen, as mentioned, and I work as a Senior Advisor at Business Finland and responsible for data center industry. And maybe some of you don't know what Business Finland is, but Business Finland is a governmental non-profit organization, and we help on one hand for Finnish companies to go abroad, find partners abroad, increase export, and then we have Visit Finland, which focuses on tourism, attracting tourists Finland, and then we have Invest in Finland unit, which is we try attract foreign direct investments to Finland, and that's where I'm a part of. Then we have also a funding agency, a part of Business Finland. We have about 600 million euros annual budget for innovations in the form of loans or grants. And we have about 600 employees all in all, also 100 working abroad. So that's certainly what Business Finland is about. And now to my presentation, Finland powered by happiness. So first, let's start with the kind of basic characteristics of Finland. So we have been ranked quite well in many kind of based on many criteria. And for example, we are very good at attracting investments and best, for example, utilizing digitalization. In sustainability, we are ranked #1, and here you can see a couple of other kind of rankings where we are among the best. And of course, we need to mention that we have been ranked happiest country 8th time in a row. And maybe I don't know if this has any relevance, but Finland has also highest number of metal bands in the world per capita. So maybe there's a correlation, maybe not. Finland is very open for indirect innovations. We are number 2 after United Kingdom when it comes to openness, and of course this makes it easier for foreign companies to come to Finland. There is less paperwork and less constraints. And then we are #1 in European leader in digitalization. So in this case, human capital, connectivity, integration of digital technology and digital public services have been assessed, and Finland is best in Europe in that regard. Electricity price is also very important when it comes to data centers, because operating expenses, electricity in practice is a big share It could be 10%, or in AI related data centers, it may be as high as 30 or 40% what comes to the operational expenses. So electricity price in Finland, we are number 3 after Norway and Sweden, and in those cases also I think the southern part of Norway and Sweden they have a higher electricity price. But anyway, we are among the lowest price countries in whole globe. And also worth mentioning is that our national TSO Fingrid's service is top quality. Their grid is very robust, and downtime very minimal. So it's very important that the network is reliable. And I guess also service what Fingrid offers to either for production side or consumption side, they are giving very high quality service to customers. So I work very closely with Fingrid, and it has worked very smoothly. Then our national target to be carbon neutral is very demanding and challenging. We are many years ahead of other countries, and this kind of indirectly has importance also when attracting investments. Many data center operators they have even more challenging targets to be carbon neutral, like 2030. Many companies feel that with a country like Finland, it's easier to achieve their own targets if the country itself is really working towards carbon neutrality. And then a couple of snapshot of what is already data centers operating in Finland. Of course, you know that these things, but the latest or relatively new data center operator is XTX. They are building first data center in Kajaani. Microsoft is building 3 data centers in close to capital area. Maybe I will show it here. So they are building Vihti and Espoo Kirkkonummi, and this is a big entity all in all. 140 hectares all in all land area, and 850,000 square meters of building right square meters. And specialty here is that about 40% of the households will get heat through district heating network from these 2 data center campuses, Kirkkonummi and Espoo. So most likely this is the largest excess heat reuse in the world. And this is of course one of the benefits in Finland, where we have a very widely spread district heating network, especially city areas, and in many cases data center excess heat from data centers can be used, and it's basically a sellable item. But of course, quite often that's kind of a for the public presence and kind of the public image. It's good basically to give heat for free, but it depends on the case. Sometimes operator wants to get some money out of that, but quite often it's offered for free. Finnish Confederation of Finnish Industries, they have what is I guess you have seen that there has been a lot of activity in Finland, and Finland attracts a lot of investments, or at least kind of planning of the investments. Confederation of Finnish Industries keeps track of those announcements, and they have a web page showing and illustrating these announcements. But of course, only few of these are kind of investment decisions. These are in planning phases, design phases, in various phases basically, and but they are many, and I think we have like a few 20 or 30 gigawatts of power inquiries relating to data center industry at the moment, based on Fingrid statistics. So it's very likely that many of them will be reality one day, but not all. Connectivity, of course, this is very important. Even though Finland is located northeast of Europe, we have a very good connectivity through submarine cables to other parts of Europe. And of course, this far north fiber, which is now in the planning phase, idea is to connect Finland through Norway, Iceland, and go around Canada until Japan. So this will shorten round trip delay from Finland to Asia quite significantly. This is now the planning phase, and hopefully in a couple of years' time this will be functional. And then energy. So this is shows this diagram or picture consumption last year based on energiateollisuus. So 83 terawatt hour was produced last year. Largest source is still nuclear power, almost 40%. Wind power is growing rapidly, and we still had last year coal a little bit, but this year Helen shut down their last coal power plant. So I guess next year or this year we will CO2 free electricity will be grown. I think 96% maybe. But anyway, we have quite nice mixture of different energy sources. However, of course, wind power and solar power will be the major sources for the increase in the coming years. And where this electricity is consumed, it's a mixture of course, industrial use and housing and agriculture, but of course the main increase will come from industrial side, and of course data centers is part of that, and most likely the biggest increase will come from data centers in the next 5 years or so. Hydrogen related will come later. And future, according to Fingrid, this year we will be hopefully net exporter of electricity. So I think the production, kind of peak production in Finland is about 15 or 16 gigawatt. But in the coming years, I think we will get this wind power will be doubled in 5 years. So at the moment, wind power production is about 8.5 gigawatt, but I think in 5 years' time it will be almost 20 gigawatt, and it will grow quite nicely in the coming years. Yeah, this shows, and of course, it's solar power, especially. It starts to raise quite nicely after 26 or so. So those industrial level parks will be taken into use 2026 onwards. So also solar power will play quite big role in the future. So yeah, summary of our offering. So even though we are in the corner of Europe, our connectivity is very good to Europe, and hopefully in the longer term also to Asia, to far north submarine cable. The cost of operation in Finland is pretty low, so land price is lower compared to many other countries. Electricity price is low. We have good availability of green energy. Electricity tax is still very low. Of course, you might know that there is a discussion ongoing to raise it for data centers, but it's still open. How it will kind of settle and what the outcome will be, but still it is almost zero. National grid is very reliable. Corporate tax is 20%, but turn of the year it will be lowered to 18%. And yeah, recovered waste excess heat is a sellable asset also. Data privacy, we take it seriously, and of course we obey EU legislation. We have also very strong cybersecurity cluster in Finland, more than 100 companies working in that space. And then there are still good availability of land in Finland and possible locations for data centers. So that's shortly, and of course Invest in Finland services, we offer, we help customers to find locations and help in other questions, foreign companies to settle and establish a company in Finland or expand in Finland. So please don't hesitate to contact if you have questions or you are looking for a new site for a data center. Thank you. This was my presentation, and please don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Jouni. Great insights on the why the happiest data lives here in Finland, and also quite an interesting overview of the Finnish market. So definitely thank you very much for that one. And now I will briefly introduce Digita and the services we are providing. And as Jouni already mentioned, so the Q&A is open. So please, type in your questions if you have any in mind. And let's continue now with Digita offering for a few minutes. So here at Digita, we are in essence highly focused digital infrastructure and services provider. We are not newcomer to the data centers. We have spent, close to 20 years operating data centers, and we are widely known for our broadcast services. But actually, in addition to the broadcast, we also provide. We have expanded into telecom towers, private 5G networks, and nationwide IT. And the data center is one of the key growth drivers for our business. And our experience is very much based on the reliability and the operational model coming from the radio and TV services, which of course everybody expects to work 24/7, and the expectation is very similar for data centers. So service reliability is really part of our DNA. Our network operating center, it never sleeps while monitoring our broadcasting and data center services, among other things that it's looking after. Our data centers are not biggest in scale, but they are perfectly positioned for what Jouni was already showing all there in his presentation, the critical low latency use cases. So that's really the driver for our data center business. If we look at our data centers, currently offering consists of 2 data centers based here in the Pasila campus, where the most of the international connections to Finland terminate. As of today, once we have completed the expansion of our facilities, we will have about 2 megawatts of capacity over here. So clearly, we are not in the class of the hyperscalers, but our offering is more focused on the edge services and the criticality of those services. As Jouni already highlighted in his presentation, the data centers in Finland are very sustainable. Cool climate helps quite a lot. That's something we can't do too much about, but we'll happily take it as a benefit. And in addition to that one, the heat collection for district heating, that's a critical factor for our efficiency. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can also see a small snapshot of our network operations center while they are looking after the broadcast networks, data centers, and many other services that they are looking at. If you look at our data center offering, our services offering, we are in essence provider of co-location services. Our data center location is really at the core of the Finnish digital society, taking into account that it's right at the center where also the TV and radio broadcasting comes from. So from that angle, the location safety and the physical safety are really world class. As we are also located in the termination point of significant number of international connections, the latency for demanding applications such as streaming and interconnection is very low. And as Jouni showed in his presentation, this is something that is not often noted since the connections to the Central Europe are direct from Finland. It's actually a very strong point to provide a high quality service for customers via our data centers as well. And additionally, we have a very dedicated and skilled team providing remote hand services at our network operations center, so we can utilize the same staff to take care of the duties in the data center. So they are quite experienced in doing this work and also available 24/7 should we run into any problem needing urgent attention. So overall, I would be saying that we are doing our work to ensure Finland is the happiest place for data to locate, and we are also creating a digital infrastructure for the future. Now we'll look at a short video about our data center offering, and after that we will be back with Jouni on the Q&A. Okay, and we are back. So while we are waiting for questions online, maybe Jouni, I'll start with asking you one question, and maybe Finland is maybe not traditionally seen as the data center location, although we have seen a lot of hyperscaler investment coming here during the past years, which is of course really a good thing for our nation and our national economy. But if you think of relocating data infrastructure to Finland, what would you describe are the typical challenges that the companies are facing with that type of the process?
Well, of course, you need to find a location and a place for your equipment, or whether it depends on whether you are, if you are an operator, then of course you need to find a site for the data center, and then it depends on the size. If you are looking for a really large site like tens of hectares and hundreds of megawatts, then I think most of the sites they are now occupied or reserved. Then you need to find another place where the municipality is about to start zoning, and then it might be a little bit longer process, but still, according to my experience, even if you start from scratch, basically, it's 2 to 3 years to get a building permit if everything goes smoothly and nicely.
Yeah, and of course, the good part in Finland is that, as you already mentioned, the government and governance is of very high quality, so the permitting processes and so on are pretty straightforward. So that's a natural benefit over here. Maybe shedding a bit more light still on this topic, because obviously you've been part of, and Business Finland has been part of, quite many of the major data center investments here in Finland, either facilitating those or being part of that. So could you shed a little bit of light for us why those companies chose Finland as the location for data centers at the end of the story? I'm sure there's no one answer to the question, but few examples would be nice to hear.
Well, of course, it's a quite complex process all in all, and tens of different attributes are assessed and compared. I guess they have an Excel sheet where they try to compare Finland against other countries, and also inside Finland, different sites. So I think there are many reasons. Of course, from our point of view, we try to help them as much as we can. And I think Fingrid also is very important player in this whole game, because they have the understanding of where the production of electricity is and where the consumption is. So we kind of I work closely with Fingrid, for example, to find those sweet spots and then make recommendations to companies. So I think there is no single answer, but of course electricity price, the quality of grid, and I think service all in all, I think is important. And until now, I think also the general opinion or kind of how data centers are kind of assessed by average people. So I think they have been kind of welcomed. But that's kind of the common feeling that the data centers are easier to handle or accept compared to steel industry, for example, or even hydrogen, because there are more kind of natural risks or that sort of thing. So data centers are kind of simple buildings in that sense. So of course they create a little bit noise, and then if water is used for cooling, then it's another topic, and it needs to be kind of carefully assessed also. But there's permitting process and different evaluations are needed to get permits. So.
Actually, that brings pretty nicely the discussion you already touched upon a little bit on your slide about the energy security, because we obviously all know that if we look at the data center use cases that are going on with AI and everything else, they are getting more and more energy hungry. So what's your view on the long-term energy security if you are looking at it from investor angle for Finland, let's say during the next 5 to 10 year time frame?
Yeah, well, of course, there are different scenarios, and of course, the demand will grow, but also I think this demand, the growth of demand will trigger also new production, because there will be a huge amount of production inquiries to Fingrid. It's about 400 gigawatts of energy in production side based on the inquiries. So and today we consume about 15 or 16 gigawatts at peak. So it's like 20 times of that figure. So there is a huge amount of new green energy production in pipeline. And of course, not all of that will become realistic, but anyway, when we get new investment decisions from big players, I guess it definitely will trigger production as well. But of course, this volatility will stay. I think all people, every one of the individual and companies need to adapt to that a little bit. So we need to change our behavior, and I think data centers, they can do their part as well. I think all data centers can be flexible at least a little bit. So it's I think it's a question of attitude also. That I think this is a reality that everyone needs to change their habits a little bit.
Yeah. And I also think that, this is something that the market will sort out pretty well, because we are also seeing a lot of investment to renewable energy. And if we look at the energy production structure in Finland, that is pretty unique. If you look at already 95% CO2 free today, and getting 100% renewable is actually quite easy. So maybe, since I don't see any questions from online, maybe a bit more than there are opportunity to promote Business Finland. So what kind of the support or incentives or any other kind of the help do you provide for companies that are planning to invest in digital infrastructure here in Finland?
Yeah, it depends. Of course, data center industry is a little bit different compared to many other. I work in ICT digitalization team where quite often it's to do with the research and development. So the foreign company comes to Finland and establishes a research and development center in Finland. Then it's kind of to do with to find personnel and right office space. We work closely with RDAs, regional development agencies like Helsinki Business Partners, Business Oulu, Business Tampere, and it depends on the case a little bit. But of course, when it comes to data center industry specifically, then it's quite often finding sites and finding partners, and then we make introductions, we facilitate discussions, and then typically we don't be part of financial discussions in any sort. It's then left to foreign company and Finnish companies or municipality.
Yeah.
But we kind of help them to find right people to discuss with and tackle the different topics. So
yeah, and I guess one of the benefits also from that angle, if we look at Finland, is that our governance is very stable, and in general our regulation has been quite predictable, so that should also give ease of mind for investors when they are thinking about allocating to Finland.
Yeah, and Finland is a small country. It's like a country club, how we call it sometimes. So
yeah.
we know people quite. Typically, we know who to contact, and it's make kind of things easier and speed some things. So
yeah.
So, but of course, and we try to be as neutral as possible as Business Finland, so that we don't be in favor of certain municipality or location, but it's up to the operator then, or DC operator, to decide. But of course, we try to offer alternatives and to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe then, a final question to conclude. If we are now taking our goggles and focusing our view a little bit more to the future. So if we look at the data infrastructure and the data center trends in Nordics for the next 5 to 10 years, so any highlights that come into your mind that you would think that will be shaping or impacting the market over here?
Well, yeah, I think this, of course, electricity taxation, how it's a question mark, how it will change the future. It will have impact because it's very likely that it will change somehow, but we don't know how much and how. Then I think hydrogen-related hydrogen and its derivatives. It's also the future, and kind of combos hydrogen production and then data center type of combo thinking. I think that will be become more and more common. They can kind of support each other, and let's see. But anyway, I think Finland and Nordic countries will stay at the forefront when it comes to the interest. There are many reasons: our poor climate and heat reuse and electricity price. I think compared to many other countries, it still will be competitive. Yeah. So I'm in a way hopeful that Finland has a good future when it comes to data center industry.
Yeah, I share definitely your confidence, Jouni, and one of the key reasons also why I share it is the fact that if we look at the future of AI application, that will probably mean a step change in the electricity consumption. We are in very unique position due to both the heat collection, but also due to our cool climate to do it more energy efficiently, that you would be able to do it further south. And that is not an insignificant factor when we are looking at the scales that they have been using. So I fully agree with you. And I think it's a fair statement that the happiest data will live in Finland going forward as well. So
yeah, let's keep smiling and strong forward.
Absolutely. So with that, I think we have reached the end of the questions. So I think it's a very, very good discussion and very interesting insights. Thank you very much for presenting those, Jouni. Should you have any questions for either of us, don't hesitate to reach out so that we are happy to provide answers for any of your questions. And I also want to thank everybody online, wishing you a nice rest of the day. And let's keep in mind that Finland is the happiest place on this planet, also for data centers. So thank you very much, everybody, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.